I always knew the answer to everything is raw action. The answer to everything has always been raw action. My dad had a tweet about this. He said that raw action solves all. And he used to say this. I'll give you an example. If you're a farmer and you need rain for your crop and there's no rain, you can sit there and say there's no rain, we're all gonna starve. Or you can stand up and do a rain dance. Now, will your rain dance work? Perhaps not. Perhaps the rain won't come. But I would argue that you're better off standing up doing that rain dance than just sitting there waiting to die. You have to do something. Raw action solves. So when I was broke, I was never like, I'm poor, what do I do? It was, I'm poor, I have to do something. If I was broke, I'd go for a run. That's why I was such a great fighter. If I was broke, I'd sit there and go, I'm actually poor. How do I make money? Don't know. Where can I get some cash? Don't know. What work can I do? Don't know. I'll just go for a run then. And I just go for 3-mile run. You just have to say, well, I have to do something. I can't just sit still and die. A lot of people are happy to just sit still and die or to go to sleep and take a nap. Well, if that's what you want to do, then you can say a loser. That's fine. I'm glad there are losers, because if everyone had Lamborghinis, my Lamborghini wouldn't be fun to show off. I need you to look at it and feel the deep pain in your heart of regret and failure. That's the whole point of it. I need to drive my Bugatti and everyone be looking at it going, I'll never have one of those. And I can get all their energy and feel it all, and it makes me happy. Fantastic. So you can sit at home and do nothing. But when I was poor, I had to go for a run. I couldn't sit still or lift weights or do something. I couldn't even sleep. So raw action solves everything. And I understood that at a young age. But as you get older, you get to look back and you get to put your whole story together, the whole tapestry together. I knew I wouldn't stay poor. Did I ever think I'd get this rich? Well, I never said I wouldn't, but did I ever think it would probably happen at this level? No, but it's amazing how the compounding interest of just endless raw action adds up. I've never had a lazy day. I've never skipped work, never missed an email, never had a day off, ever. You name if you were to go through the last 3 years of my life, you will see that there's never been a day where I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. And it all just adds up, and then monumental success comes and you get to laugh at everybody else, ha ha ha, and life's great. Well, I think that initially fighting is always the best thing you can ever do. Especially it's the best way to spend your 20s because you heal superhumanly. You heal like Wolverine. And I can't think of a better use of that superhuman healing ability besides fighting. And it's going to teach you everything you need to know about personal accountability and hard work and overcoming fear and dedication and discipline. There's so many lessons to be found inside of fighting. And plus, it's the most respected sport on the planet. And I think that you'll learn more about yourself and more about life and more about the realities of how the world works if you're a fighter. So I think that's what's so fantastic about it. All of my wisdom and all the things I say doesn't come from books. It comes from life experience. And a lot of my life experience is the brutal realities of violence. So people say, oh, Andrew's so smart, Andrew's so wise, Andrew knows so many things. I've learned all of that simply through fighting. And if you're a warrior in life, the arena may change, but the battle never ends. It's just never ending. And you have to get used to fighting. You have to get used to being under pressure and under stress all the time and being the kind of person who can perform and smile anyway. And I'm glad I spent my 20s training because I can't think of something else. I find it amazing that I speak to people my age and I say, in my 20s, I spent maybe, I don't know, let's say 3 hours a day. What's a decade of 3 hours a day? Let's say 10,000 hours. I spent 10,000 hours in the gym training. You're the same age as me. What did you do with those 10,000 hours? They can't even tell me what they did. What did you do? Watch TV, go out, go pub, sit around, sleep, nap, chase women? What did you actually do? We had the same amount of waking hours and the same amount of minutes. I know where 10,000 hours of my minutes went, and that's why I'm the champ. That's why I have 4 title belts above my bed. That's how I spent my 10,000 hours. Tell me what you did with your 10,000 hours, which is equal to, comparable to, or superior than how I spent my time. And they can't even name what they did with any of their time. They're like, don't know. So if you're 16, you need to be using every single waking minute towards things you're going to remember. You're going to remember training. You're going to remember working hard. You're going to remember trying to make money. You're spending your life and wasting your time doing things you're not even going to be able to recollect in a few years. You're going to wonder why you fall behind the people who don't waste time. Time is the ultimate currency. Time is money. Time is also strength and power and networks, connection. Time is everything. You can convert it. It's like malleable. Time is like Play-Doh. Yeah. You can turn it into anything. You can turn it into muscles if you go to the gym. Turn it into fighting prowess if you go to the fight gym. But people have all this time and they just mush around with it. And then they're like, don't know why I'm failing. I wish I was successful. When you're living that type of life and you end up searching for meaning, you end up down the path of hedonism because the meaning is, I want to have as much fun as possible. But fun in and of itself, I was talking to another girl and I was saying to her that fun, she was saying to me, you know what, Andrew, all you do is work. You never really have fun. And I said, fun is haram. He goes, is fun really haram? I'm like, no, it's not. But please understand what I'm trying to say here. What I'm trying to say is when you look at what most people do for fun, Look, when fun is clubs, drinking, running around, laughing like a kid, all this, all the bad things in life, the negative haramities can be attained through this obsession with fun. If you find a man who's obsessed with work, I have things I need to do and I feel satisfied inside when I do them. I have duty and I have work and I have obligations to fill and objectives to meet. I feel happy when they are done. That is my fun. My fun is clearing my emails, making $2 million in the day, buying another investment property I don't need, going to bed, training hard, eating right. That's my fun. Call me boring. That's what I enjoy. When you were talking about that lifestyle and what you end up searching for in that hedonism, you just end up searching for excesses, right? To have more fun, you want to get more drunk, go to more clubs, and it's just a black hole. It never ends, and you end up destroying yourself. Yep. We need discipline. We need purpose. We need to have parameters set for us. And truthfully, as a person, you're happier that way. That's why I quit drinking. People think I quit drinking because I reverted to Islam. That's not why. I actually quit drinking 2 months before that. I was extremely effective on alcohol. I would drink 4 or 5 times a week because I'm extremely rich and I have a very good life and I'm in my mansion and I'm drinking. I was still world famous. I was still making millions of dollars. I was still in fantastic physical condition. All the videos you watched me from a year and a half ago, I still look like a bodybuilder. I still outperformed everybody. I didn't have a drink problem. I could easily quit. In fact, I didn't even want to drink most of the time. It's just a party going on. I was still monumentally successful on alcohol and I could continue to drink alcohol for the rest of my life. But I stopped because I thought, will I enjoy having less fun? Will it be fun to have less fun? Okay, that's all fun. But would it be fun to have less fun? And I said, maybe instead of spending all of our money doing this stuff, we should spend all of our money getting very regimented. We should have loads of members of staff and we should be up at exactly 7:46 and we should have a coffee ready and hot at 7:47 and at 8:01 we should go into the gym and we should finish at 8:27 and we should have all of it. We should have everything regimented and we should produce more content than ever before and become richer than ever before, but just remove the fun and have fun in not having fun and just being monumentally competent and effective. Okay, well, I'll try it. Let me try for 6 months to give up all fun and just be boring. And then I learned some very interesting things during that time. Firstly, I learned that the whole idea of drinking for being social is now gone. I think we're at the age where if you were 21 and you didn't drink, you didn't have a life. There's no reason to drink for socializing because everything's online anyway. You meet everybody on apps. Nobody cares about drinking anymore. That's the first thing I learned. The second thing I learned is that being exceptionally regimented is fun. I truly enjoy it. I enjoy it just as much as I enjoyed because what would happen before is I'd do all my work and I'd train hard and I was always an effective person. I was still 1,000 times more effective than the average man. And then I would take 6 or 7 hours and drink and smoke and have fun and enjoy the fruits of my labor. I became extremely rich. Why not get on a private jet and have fun? But now, instead of spending those 6 hours having fun, I spend those 6 hours continuing to work. And I enjoy it just as much. So now I'm sitting there going, well, I enjoy it just as much and I'm not damaging my health. I enjoy it just as much and I'm making more money. So it really, truly ruins my day when a beautiful girl's like, can I see you? It's like, oh, I've got work to do. I'm regimented. I have to sit here and type. I don't want to talk to you and have fun and party. I don't want to do any of that. I want to do emails. You don't get it. I know to you it makes no sense, but you already have all this money. Why do you want to do emails? Because that's my fun now, regiment. So I decided to dedicate 6 months to being boring. And by the end of the 6 months, I was having so much fun being boring that now I will probably never drink again. I am 0% tempted to drink ever again. I am 0% tempted by fun, which is what you said, and I completely get it. When someone goes, we're going to go here and it's going to be fun. I'm like, nah, you have fun. I'll do my emails. You enjoy. I don't want to go to clubs. I don't want to go to some party. I'm not interested in traveling. I'm not interested in seeing anything. I've seen it all anyway. I've been everywhere. Like, who cares? I'm above it all. I'm over it all. I want to run my empire and I want to spend time with people I love and I want to beat my brother at Uno and that's it. I don't want to do anything. Maybe I've gotten boring. Maybe I've leaned too much into the boring character, but I truly enjoy just being boring and regimented. And I like getting as much work done as possible. And that's why I'll never, ever drink again. So the whole concept of fun is alien to me. I totally get it now. When you said that, you're totally right. Fun isn't fun. And then achieving things in work is fun. The only thing I guess I can say I do for fun is driving fast cars. But then I need to make $800,000 to buy a Ferrari. So it's still work involved, you know? There's still work involved. But I really believe God's given me one of the best lives. And I can't complain about anything bad that's happened. It's all been fantastic. I'm truly thankful for all. I think if a couple bad things happen to you, you should be intelligent enough to realize that eventually you're going to get over it and you're going to learn an important lesson. It's going to change you in the correct direction. And Allah is the best of planners, and he knows what you need to learn. I think that as humans, especially as men, we only learn the hard way anyway. There's two ways to learn a lesson, the hard way and the hardest way. There's no easy way to learn a lesson. You have to learn the hard way. So God gives us lessons via difficulty. He thinks you need to learn this about yourself or this about other people. So I'm going to give you a difficult time so you can learn your lesson. Because if I told you, if I just said, hey, Andrew, this is how the world works, you go, yeah. But when I show you, when you feel it, my fight coach used to say, you have to feel it to believe it. That's why if he was teaching low kicks, he'd kick your leg off. Because you don't believe in the power of a low kick. You don't believe a low kick can be so devastating unless you've felt it. You have to feel it to believe it. So God will give you a difficult time so you learn your lessons. And the lessons are very important for you to be the person who you need to be in this life. He's the best of planners, and I'm thankful for all the lessons he's given me. He's bestowed knowledge upon me. How could I not be grateful to God for making me so intelligent and wise and the ability to look into things so deeply and come up to the right decision and basically predict the future perfectly? You have to have difficulty happening to you all the time. So when you sit and say, I want an easy life, what you're saying is you're a dummy and you want to be a dummy. You want to stay a dummy. I want an easy life, and I don't want anything bad to happen to me, because even though it will teach me lessons, I'm too big of I can't handle the emotional pain. I can't handle the stress. I don't want to be a dummy. I want to be smart. If I want to be smart, then hurt me. I just know that I become a more formidable, more competitive version of myself after every single bad thing that's ever happened to me. It's one less thing to fear. It's one less thing to be worried about. I've done it before. Because it's also very interesting, because you talk about wisdom, you use the word wisdom, and I appreciate the compliment. I don't read books. I never read a book because I don't have time. All of the wisdom I have, all of this knowledge I speak, all of these things I say have been learned through basically difficulty of life, through professional fighting and being poor and all bad things happening to me and struggle. All of my lessons have been bad things, bad events, bad scenarios, bad situations, pain, suffering, anger, resentment. All of these horrible emotions are how I've learned everything. So I thank God for giving them to me. And anyone who wants an easy life wants to stay a dummy. What do you learn if you just get money, you buy a crypto coin, it blows up, you get some money, you go to some restaurants? What do you learn about anything?
You don't.
Completely. And then the thing that's so interesting is that the people who are choosing the safe option is actually choosing the most risky option. So you're not taking a safe option. You're taking a coward's way out, and it leads to exactly where a coward's way should lead. Cowards in the end do not get to enjoy the shade of the olive tree, because unless you fought in the arena, unless you've been a gladiator, you never get the peace of mind and peace of heart, which is afforded from bravery. So if you choose the safe choices in life, thinking, oh, I'm going to take the safe route, you don't end up anywhere safe. The safe option doesn't work anymore. You need to take risks. You need to try and start your own business. You need to go all in on things. You need to go wild. You need to be a man who's not afraid to stand up and think, fuck it, it's all on my back and I'm going to find a way to pull this off. Because any other way, any other option in the world today only leads to a bad scenario. Yeah. The safest thing you can do are the riskiest things. That's the now scenario we're in. Every single gamble I've taken, which was seen as risky, all paid off for me because I dedicated myself completely. So how do you find happiness? Happiness is in struggle. The struggle and the size of the struggle you're facing, along with how important it is and how important you feel it is deep in your heart, is directly correlated to how successful and how happy you're going to feel all of the time. Struggle is extremely important for a man, and you should be looking to inject struggle into your life permanently. We talked about this in the past emergency meeting, because if you're injecting struggle and that struggle solving those problems lead to a positive place, once you become addicted to it, you're going to become a machine of monumental achievement. There are some very simple basic things you can do: weight training, chess, having debates, trying your very best to take care of your mother, retire her, make sure that your people who you love are taken care of. You need goals and resistance and something to fight against to live well, because the distance between pain and joy is what we experience. If you only have joy all of the time and no pain, you are not going to be happy. You don't need drugs. You don't need alcohol. You don't need parties or festivals. You don't need fun. Fun is the vector from which Satan operates. Every time you look at something which is fun, It's all just hedonistic. There's no money to be made. You don't retire your mother. You don't help the world. You don't give to charity. You don't become stronger. You don't become wiser. You don't learn anything. Next time you think of what is fun, and someone goes, guys, come, it'll be fun. Sit there, go, wait. Will it? Experiences are unique. Jail was a unique experience. Bunch of fun. Unique. Life's not about fun as a man. Life is about doing the right thing because it must be done. Now, there are some things that are fun which can be earned. And there are some things which are fun that you could do, which perhaps involve skill. Driving a supercar around a racetrack is fun. It involves skill. You have to be good at what you do. Cool. But a lot of this fun that is easily accessible to everyone, because not everybody can get a Ferrari on a closed racetrack. I can, you can't, because you're poor. You do not need fun until you've already reached the highest possible echelon. So this whole idea that you need fun in your life, you don't. What you need is purpose. You need discipline. You need hard work. You need things to do which are going to benefit you and the others around you. You need duty. You need obligations. And you need performance metrics. You need people around you who are going to hold you accountable. You don't need to be waking up thinking about fun. You're nobodies. You're not important. Nobody knows who you are. You're not physically strong. You're not financially wealthy. You have bigger concerns. You're obsessed with this idea of fun. Hey, what are we going to do this weekend? We need to have some fun. Do you? Do you need fun? Do you deserve it? Really? Have you actually gone out there in the universe and made a mark large enough that you're allowed some time off to have some fun? You don't deserve any fun. You don't need any fun. You have work to do. Your obsession with fun is holding you back. These things you think are fun aren't fun.
Checking your bank balance in your house, not going out, you're not in a club, and seeing $20 million liquid is very fun.
That's right.
Much more fun than anything you could possibly ever do. So, although it wasn't fun to sit around and accumulate that kind of wealth, it's the funnest thing in the universe, in a way.
For a man, your contentment will come from your purpose, and it will come from your competence, and it will come from succeeding objectives. It will come from completing difficult things that other people cannot complete. It will never come from the easily accessible hedonism, which you have confused for fun. If everybody can do it, you shouldn't want to do it. If everybody can go to that concert, you shouldn't want to go. If everybody can go to that club, you shouldn't want to go. You should only want to do things others can't do. The only fun I have is doing things I know you're not allowed to do. Putting my Bugatti on an A380 and flying it around the world to a racetrack, which I've rented out for only me and only my friends to race around cars. You can't do that. I can. That is fun. But if you say to me, Andrew, come to this party, and I say, well, who's there? Everyone. Oh, everyone's there. Does that mean I need to go, right? It's the event of the century. Ooh, everyone's there. If everyone's there, it's trash. So you need to sit there and go, all right, I'm being asked to do something fun. Who else can do this? And if the answer is everybody, stop. I clear my emails. I've trained hard that day. I've made a couple $1 million. I've spec'd a brand new car. I've checked on all the people I love, all the people I care about. I've donated some money to charity. My children are fed. Their mothers are taken care of. Everything is in order. Everything is in its proper place. That is fun. If you say to me, Andrew, skip a portion of that organization and professionalism so that we can go and do something that everyone else can do, my answer will be no. That does not sound fun to me. And the fact that you think that's fun shows that you have a severe mental deficiency. Stay away from it. You're only going to find actual fun through purpose. You're only going to find purpose through exceptionalism. So you need to become the best possible version of yourself in all realms. That's extremely important. The reason you are so unhappy is because you are trying to have fun. You're unhappy because you're trying to have fun instead of trying to become important. They are very different things, and you're never going to feel satisfied in your heart unless you become important. Please imagine.
And being important is fun.
Oh, it's absolutely fun. Please imagine, and I don't state this with arrogance, please imagine for a second you're the most Googled man on the planet. And you're a kickboxing world champion, and you have hundreds of millions of dollars, and you're built like a tank. Imagine how you feel when you look in the mirror. Nothing can match that, and nothing can beat that. As a man, you need to have struggle in your life. I want you guys to actually sit and think, what struggle are you going through daily? What struggle are you undertaking? What struggle are you trying to overcome? Because you should make a list of them. I can know for myself, every single day I wake up and I train physically. Every single day I have to go through X amount of physical pain when my day begins. That is a struggle that must be completed. Then I must try and keep my massive empire online, see my children, take care of everybody. There's struggle involved. My life is difficult. Difficult lives are fulfilling because we used to have to hunt and fish and go out there and go through difficulty to survive. And I often see that when I speak to people who are too comfortable, they end up being unhappy.
Yeah.
You can't entertain yourself to happiness. You must earn happiness. You must climb a mountain. You must struggle yourself to happiness. That's extremely important. There must be physical, mental, social, creative, some kind of spiritual struggle. And those things being satisfied is what's going to satisfy you. It's like Bitcoin. Bitcoin's a mathematical equation. You solve the equation, you get a Bitcoin. Life is very much the same. There's struggles, there's difficulties which you have undertaken, which you have adopted to try and complete. And when you finish those things, then you get satisfaction as a reward. That's the Bitcoin. The only other alternative to that to feel good is hedonism, which is drugs and alcohol. And that's not going to satisfy you for very long. And it's also going to destroy your life. So it's extremely important. This is actually why people are addicted to video games. Young men are addicted to video games because it mimics virtually what they ought to be doing in the real world.
Yeah.
Effort in to upgrade their character, to become a better version of themselves so they can do better things than they could previously do and explore new areas of the map. The areas of the map which are Bugatti convention, flying there on a private jet to sit with billionaires.
The Grand Casino Monaco is a cool area of the map that you have not unlocked yet, but it's great.
Which requires you to upgrade your character as a person. You understand this in video games, and you do it in video games because it's very interesting to do. However, you don't want to do it in the real world. But in the real world, it's so much more rewarding. And I'm actually going to argue that we're living in one of the final periods where that's true. I'd say in a few generations, who you are and who your physical body is may not matter nearly as much.
No, but it does matter today. A lot.
Exactly. So that's why you should enjoy it while you can.
Yeah.
So you need to pick the low-hanging fruit first. And the starting block to all of these things is your body. I believe you lift, stretch, move, improve your body, try and train MMA, learn how to fight, get stronger, get bigger muscles. It's a fast track to self-discipline, which will carry over into all other endeavors. And I would argue that is nearly impossible. In fact, how many people can say the gym saved their life? How many people do you know were depressed, started training, got in fantastic shape, and weren't depressed anymore? It is very easy. The low-hanging fruit is your body and upgrading your body. That is the easiest struggle, which is never going to backfire on you and never going to be a negative towards any other facet of your life. And when I look at men who are physical specimens, I think everyone naturally does this, but I'm going to openly say it. I respect them differently than I look at men who aren't. I have a different level of respect for them because they show me they have discipline. They show me they have motivation. They show me they're capable of doing difficult and hard things. Those are the kind of people I trust. They're not afraid of struggle. They're problem solvers. People who train are problem solvers, and you need to become one. And you need to become very, very adept at solving problems pretty quickly. I actually find it amazing that there's people out there who aren't in perfect physical condition. Guys, let me tell you all a newsflash. If you eat right and you train hard, you look good.
Yeah.
It's like a biological certainty. It's almost impossible to be fat and look bad if you eat right and train hard. Your body will react and give you exactly what you want. So why don't you all look like superheroes? Do you not understand how intimidating that is just when they look at a group of people and they all look like superheroes and they can tell they're all disciplined, all hardworking, all dedicated, all physically strong? The struggle is what's beautiful about it. That's the most important thing. That's what you have to understand.
Yeah, because no matter how rich you are, no matter how smart you are, no matter what family you're born into, you can only get into shape the same way as everybody else. So you could be Mark Zuckerberg, who's now in shape and he's a billionaire, but you can't say, oh, he bought it. He didn't buy it. He's just in great shape because he earned it like everyone else. You could be flat broke or rich as fuck. If you're in good shape, you had to earn it. It's as simple as that. So yeah, it says a lot about who you are as a person.
First, you want to become as strong as physically possible. So you want to be as strong as physically possible. Next, you want to try and make as much money as possible. Not even necessarily for the money, although money is extremely important because it allows you to take care of yourself. We talked about this before, but there's the challenge involved, and solving that challenge is going to make you feel more satisfied as a human. Happiness comes from success, and making money is success. You should try and make people around you smile and be happy. You should try and encourage positivity around you. You should be the kind of person that no one can really complain about their struggles around because they know that you're the person who's going to be like, why are you complaining when you could just simply fix it? Especially successful people. Successful people are uninterested in stealing because we'd rather everybody win and keep the friendship and keep the network and keep the positive organs and keep the good karma than make a little bit extra money. So it's amazing what you see in the world. And if you become a person who is happy and successful and can take care of himself and adopt struggles, you're going to start finding those other people who do the same thing, and then you're going to build a network and become fantastic. Live with men you're in competition with. So you and your friends need to have friendly competition at all times. Now, you need to meet your friends and you need to have banter and competition around things that matter. Who's got the most money? Who's worked hardest? Who's discovered XYZ, crypto, stock, new way of generating income? Who's trained that day? Who has the most children? Put some actual competitions together that matter and start competing and being around people, because you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Everybody knows this. So why don't you get some genuine metrics that will improve your life? You won't have time to stand around cooking meals if you're friends with somebody who works out for 3 hours a day, for example, because you're going to need to find 3 hours a day to train to beat him, which means you're going to have to just eat that rotisserie chicken as you do squats, like a man should. Live with men you're in competition with. This is ultra important because you can measure yourself against your circle. If Tristan comes downstairs and says, I've done 1,000 push-ups, I will do anything it takes to do 1,001 just to annoy him, because I know that he then has to do 1,002. And pissing him off is worth it. It's always worth it. And that's why you need to have that kind of competition. Get your act together, get some genuine metrics, things that matter. And once they're all put together, you're going to live in a naturally competitive environment, which is going to increase your testosterone level. It's going to prevent you from doing a lot of dumb shit. And the competition one's great, because you can apply it to everything.
There are a lot of people are going to get, kicked in the nuts and take a fall, and they're going to let it beat them down. Andrew's lost very important kickboxing matches. Did he quit fighting then? Did I quit fighting when I got my ass kicked a couple times? No, you don't. You just have to continue, because in life, there are only winners and losers. There are no participation trophies. There's no, stickers and everyone's invited to have a good time. Life is hard, and everyone in life is actually trying to play the same game. If you're a sportsman, there's a small pool of people who compete at kickboxing, professional soccer, and the bigger the pool is, the more difficult it is. Well, life is the only game where every single one of us 8.1 billion people is trying to play the exact same game. And the same game is, there's only so much money in the world, there's only so many resources, there's only so much happiness. I'm going to try to provide for my family as best as I can. And whether people say money's not important or is important, everyone's part of this game. So winning is very difficult. And you have to keep trying when you get kicked and you fall down. And that's the advice I give to every young man who listens to me.
People are afraid of accepting there's a problem because then they know they have a responsibility towards fixing it. And they don't want to do anything, one, because they're lazy, and two, because they're afraid they might lose. So they'd rather pretend there's no problem at all. And I think I often say to people in a lot of my videos about a lot of other subjects that it's not always the winning and the losing. It's the fighting in the first place. And there's plenty of men in history you remember who ended up losing in the end. Napoleon, for example, who still fought, which is why they mattered. It's not, if you're only going to fight when you're guaranteed to win, then no bravery is required. And you have to fight so that you can look back on your life and feel happy that you tried to do something when you knew it was going on before it was too late. Forget about the winning and losing for now. Focus on the fight. You must wait for the moment when the opponent's mind is scattered and strike without hesitation. If you do not overcome your tendency to give up so easily, your life will lead to nothing. Objectify your demons so you control them instead of them controlling you. Fear is a reaction. Courage is a decision. You have to train your mind to be stronger than your emotions, especially your impulses, or else you're going to lose yourself. You will only be found by the devil once you are lost, and he will lead you to hell. Most of the important things in the world have been accomplished by men who kept fighting when there seemed to be no hope at all. I think it's a good motto, perhaps, for life, for everyone who's watching this. I heard it during a boxing match, and I think it was between Evander Holyfield against some guy who's not nearly as well known. And Holyfield was losing, and then he starts swinging, hitting the guy. And the commentator said, "Suddenly the champion returns with initiative and vengeance." That's a good slogan for life. You should wake up, look in the mirror, and say, "Suddenly the champion returns with initiative and vengeance." That's a good way to start your day every single day.
Yeah, it is.
Initiative and vengeance to become the best possible version of yourself. It's very important, and this is the last piece of advice I want to give to people at home. A lot of people go through life with a very average attitude, and they wait for their one big break. But you have to build your big break. And you're going to do that with 1,000 tiny victories. If you're watching this, ask yourself a question. When's the last time you genuinely tested yourself? When's the last time you genuinely felt challenged? Win or lose, you can be a hero if you just fight. Win or lose, you can be a hero if you make the brave decision. There are so many men of history we remember who didn't even win every time. Napoleon lost. He's still famous. His name's still etched into history. You can't escape the baselines of the universe. There are some laws which can't be broken. They can't be broken. They're universal laws. You need to have the bravery about you. I don't know how most of you are going through life never choosing the brave option. I'm thinking, oh, but I'm just being safe. It's cope. Safety's for women and children. It's not for men. And you have to make a decision now as a man, knowing you're going to lose, knowing you don't stand a chance, whether you're going to get in there and fight or you're going to come up with a bunch of excuses why you won't. You're looking for a reason not to do it, and you found a reason because someone told you not to do it. If you're going to go through life looking for people to tell you not to do something, you're always going to find somebody. This isn't about what anyone else wants to do. It's about you. What's your excuse? Oh, I have work in a few days. I have a black eye. So you can go in there like a man. Why are you so scared of losing? What's the worst that's going to happen? You have a black eye, you'll heal. When's the last time you even pushed yourself to do anything? When's the last time you got punched in the face? I miss my black eyes. The people who didn't fight, I think, got beaten worse than the ones who did, because they had to look in the mirror every single day for the next year or whatever it took for them to eventually come fight. They felt like cowards. There's nothing worse as a man than the feeling of cowardice. And the ones who fought went through the physical risk and went through the fear to make sure they didn't have to feel like a coward, because that's the worst thing a man can ever feel like. And if you're honest with yourself right now when you're watching this, a lot of you should feel like cowards. You're scared of getting in a situation that you can't completely control. You don't challenge yourself. You don't test yourself. You go on the odd holiday, pretend you're rich and bang some girls, and you think that makes you a somebody. It doesn't make you a somebody. Nobody cares. You're still a loser. You're a loser because you've never been through the pain. All of the bad things that happen to you are the only things that are going to prevent you from being a loser. You need the difficulty. You need the suffering. I'm tired of people emailing me going, oh, this bad thing's happened to me. Good. That's why you get to be somebody who matters. All of the people whose lives go well all of the time aren't men. Men are the guys who stand up and say, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened, and I'm still alive. We're supposed to be broken. We're supposed to be imperfect. Femininity is perfection. Masculinity is being a damaged human who is still competent and capable. You can even apply this to the way men and women look. We want women to look perfect. If a man looks perfect, women find it repulsive. They want you to look broken. They want you to look like someone's tried to kill you. That's what they want you to look like. They've tried to kill this man. He's covered in scars and he's big and huge, and they've tried to kill him, but he is still alive. That's the entire point. Because what you're doing, you want to go on holidays, you want to do all this garbage so you feel a tinge of it. But when's the last time you sat down and thought, I have to make this work? I have to perform. I need every single ounce of my strength and my capability and my competence to get myself in a situation where I can pull this off. When's the last time you've done it? And you're going to probably realize, if you analyze hard enough, that you may not have done it your entire adult life. You've been avoiding these kind of situations because you're scared of the consequence. And one of the worst things about this new social media or generation, everything's on camera, everything ends up on the internet. People are scared of losing their reputation, scared of losing their egos. We didn't care. We turned up and we fought. We won, we lost, but we turned up and we fought like men. Nowadays you have people sitting there going, oh, I want to fight, but I want to win, and I want the video, and I don't want to look stupid, and their ego gets in the way, and it's their ego preventing them from growing. And then, heaven forbid, they make a little bit of money on a crypto pump. Then they have to go through life trying to pretend they're something they're not, because they have money now and they want to pretend they're a G. Oh, well, I've got money and I've got this nice car. Nobody cares. Why would they? And it's really important what you said there about putting on a suit and putting on a cigar and renting a Lambo and driving around. All of those things, and I've said this a million times, you're trying to signal that you have money. You're trying to signal that you have wealth. But money is an amplifier. It's not going to change who you are. It's only going to amplify who you are. And if you're the kind of person who will turn up to a random sports hall and fight somebody who you don't know who they are and get in there and do your absolute best to destroy that man, and if you're the kind of person who will go then on to the UFC or go on to be a kickboxing world champion because you don't give up and you keep training, and then you get rich, you have a different aura about you than the person who skips all that part and wants to look like a G. So they get the Lambo and they get the cigar and they get the suit, but they skip all the hardship. And you know what? Predators and women have this amazing sense. I'll tell you something. You may be able to fool a bunch of geeks. You may be able to fool a bunch of geeks with your suit and your cigar standing around. But unless you've been through some difficult things, the men who have been through difficult things and women will smell it on you. And they'll just look at you and go, he's a poser, he's fake. And the worst thing you can do is signal to be something you're not when you're not really about it. You don't want to talk gangster. You don't want to be gangster. You don't want to pretend to be something you're not. You don't want to pretend to be wealthy and pretend to be a G, because eventually someone's going to check you. And if you're not really about it, you're going to then get either hurt or you're going to cower or your reputation's going to crumble. You can only fake and lie for so long. God is going to reveal the truth of us all. And the truth about you should be that you're a brave person. Money is easy, but to truly test yourself so the money has value, that's the important part, because being rich is great. But being rich without all the other accolades, without the bravery, without the struggle, without the fact that you're not afraid of anybody, without all the hard things you've been through, without all the difficulty, money alone isn't interesting. In fact, it just makes you a coward and it makes you a target. That's all it does. It's amazing how a loss can be transformative, and how the bad things that happen to us, like I've said endless times, are the most powerful building blocks that you're going to require to be a man of substance. And the bottom line of humanity, especially amongst men in masculinity, has always been the ability to protect. That's the bottom line of masculinity. It doesn't matter what you have if you can't protect those you care about and those you love. And if you're not prepared to stand up and say, no, that's enough, we're going to have a physical confrontation here, then you're not really going to be a man. And that is one of the most important tenets of masculinity, like I said, that predators and especially other women can sense. Because I think that's the true masculine frame, right? You're going to feel happy inside yourself when people change their lives to the better because of you. That's why a man wants to give nice presents to his girlfriend. That's why a man wants to take care of the people he cares about. You want people to feel better because of you. That's your goal in life. And that's what, when other people respect you, you're going to respect yourself. You'd have to be delusional to respect yourself if nobody else respects you. My intention is for you to become a better, stronger, richer, braver version of yourself. But unless you have that baseline bravery and that baseline build of, I've been through difficult things, I'm the kind of person who's not afraid, it doesn't matter how much money you make. You're still going to feel bad inside. You're never going to feel truly happy in your heart unless you challenge yourself. And anyone who didn't fight was very upset with themselves, because you talk about feedback and that's how it should work. All of the men who didn't fight felt a temporary relief, and you can apply this to life. They were offered a difficult challenge. They knew that bad things could happen. They were scared. They did, and they felt a temporary relief. Maybe for a few hours or a day or so, they're like, thank God I don't have to do that. But as the days went on afterwards, as they saw the other people proud of their black eyes and proud of their blood, and them going home and telling their girlfriends, yeah, I got my ass kicked, I got in there, I thought I'm going to fight him anyway, I was brave. And over time, they started to realize what an opportunity they missed, and they started to feel like cowards. Living as a coward is detrimental to the soul. It's actually amazing. You could apply this to so many things. I've had guys come to me and say, oh, you know, I really want this girl back and I'm really upset. And then she wants me to change and do this, da-da-da. I'm like, bro, obviously we all understand what love is, and we all understand what we're supposed to do for a woman we truly care about. But if you completely cuck and completely simp to this woman, you're going to feel dirty inside forever. You're going to feel dirty inside forever. There are limits you can go to where it's just too far. You have to still be a man. Because if you're not still a man at the baseline, money ain't going to hide it. Nothing's going to hide it. Besides, when you look in the mirror at night knowing that you are not proud of yourself, that you didn't do what you were supposed to do. Imagine how different you at home would be if you actually went through some challenges in your life for once in a while. And I don't think many men at home understand that when you look at life trying to find challenges you can overcome as opposed to find comfort, you're happier anyway. I am so glad I went to jail. I'm truly glad I got that experience. It was an unexplored area of the map, and I got to go and experience it. It was hard. I've talked about how it's hard. It's a boring story to talk about again. However, I'm glad I got to do it because I know I'm a better person now that I've been through it, and I know that I could deal with it better than I could have before. And what's the point in being a man if you're not going to constantly try and upgrade yourself? And you have to ask yourself this question at home. If you don't have a group of men around you which are going to force you or push you to do things you would never normally do and encourage you to go over the top and charge it in the gunfire so you can be the best version of yourself, when are you even testing yourself in your day-to-day life? You're sitting with your girl, you're playing video games. Where's your challenges? Where's your tests? How are you going to ever improve as a person if the most you do perhaps is sometimes go to the gym and follow a workout routine? There's no challenge, there's no fear, there's no consequence, there's nothing. You're never going to be at the upper echelon of masculinity unless you've been through difficult and hard things. If I was at home, I would be furious that I missed out. I'd be furious that I couldn't have been there and had a chance to prove myself, not only to myself, but to God, to look in the mirror and say, yes, I am the man I say I am. Because those are the most beautiful experiences in life. God won't allow that. God's testing me to see if I am the man I said I am. So now I get to prove it to him and to myself. And I performed flawlessly because I made the brave choice. I could have sat there and cried my eyes out. I could have done a bunch of stupid things. I didn't do any of it because my entire life was built around constantly making the brave choice. And if you're at home, you're not making any brave choices. Life is designed so that you don't have to ever step outside of your comfort zone. You get to play video games, eat takeaway food, and that's your life. But you should be looking in the mirror knowing there's more to life than that. And if you actually truthfully analyze and understand, when I ask you if there's more to life, you may give me a few answers like you want a nicer car, you want to make some money, you want a Lambo, you want to travel the world, all these things. That's all superficial. That gets boring very quickly. There's a reason all these people who have money end up on drugs and a bunch of other garbage, because they're not happy in their hearts. I don't need drugs. Why would I need money? Why would I need drugs when I know who I am as a man? That's what gives me true satisfaction. No drug's ever going to replace that. No drug's ever going to make me feel like I know I've challenged myself and pushed myself to the best of my ability. And if you're not out there doing that, you're never going to be happy, whether you have money or not. If you have to tell me the last time you truly challenged yourself, if we met and sat down and I were to say, when's the last time you truly challenged yourself? Your story would be laughable. You would be a joke. Nobody would be impressed by it. And what is the point in the masculine experience unless you're prepared to suffer? There's no point in it at all. And I think it's the masculine experience. It's always been that way. Men have always gone away to war or tried to discover new lands or traverse Antarctica. So bravery is extremely important. You should know you need it. The truly hard part is when you have to look in the mirror and look yourself in the eyes and say, am I man enough to do this? And if you can get that part of life done, you'll be amazed how easy most other challenges become. I don't care. It's a cheat code to life if you challenge yourself often enough and early enough, and you get in the habit of always making the brave choice. It's a cheat code to life. A lot of people have been following my brand for a long time. When I bought Bitcoin at $3,000, when all these decisions I made, people said, how did you know? It's not about knowing. It's about making the bravest possible choice. It's not about knowing anything. It was like, there's two options here. One is be a coward like everybody else. And the other one's be brave unlike everybody else. I'm going to choose to be brave and I will suffer the consequences. I could have lost all my money. I could have got sick and died in a hospital bed. But I decided to make the brave choice always because it's my default programming. It's actually not difficult to be in the highest echelon of masculinity today because every single man is going through life trying to choose safe options and be afraid. And you know I'm right because you're trying to dip your toe in danger. You're trying to dip your toe in danger, but truthfully, you've never really put it on the line. You want to dip your toe and then go home to your nice little comfy life. And that's why history's not going to remember you. You're not going to have a name that anybody's going to repeat after you are dead. If people talk about your death at all, because you had a chance to push yourself to be the kind of person who can come home with a story that they never thought they'd have. Go away to war and come back with scars. Women would smell it on you. The men around you would smell it on you. You'd feel different in your heart. You live inside your mind, you live inside your soul. If you don't feel good inside yourself, you're never going to feel good with anything external. And you're only going to feel good inside yourself if you push yourself and if you challenge yourself and if you go through difficult things. The number one problem I now currently have in my life is that I don't feel like I have enough difficulties because there's only war that's going to keep you sharp because you're the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And if you start spending time with brave people, you might become a brave person. And the truth is, genuinely, most of you at home are cowards. And that's how the universe works in general. You're going to have to get up and you're going to have to challenge yourself because there are so many people at home doing exactly what you do. How would you ever expect to be an exceptional person? There's so many people living versions of your life. There are far less people living versions of our life, which is why we are who we are and is why you're watching. There are so many people who just go to work, avoid challenges, bang their girlfriend, play video games. May play a different game, may have a different girlfriend, may have a different job. But the version of reality is too similar for you to ever become an exceptional person. You could not excel because the version of reality you're living is too similar to so many millions of other people. There has to be a point where you eventually bite the bullet, and the best way you're going to do that is via brotherhood. Men have always done that via brotherhood, via the army they're in, via the gang they hang around with, via their tribe. It's always having men around you who are brave that is going to make you brave. And we can apply that, and I've done it many times, how you need to have as much money as possible, and you need to have a strong network. You need to have brothers you can rely on. You need to be the person who stands up knowing that people are also going to stand up and help you. That is the point of brotherhood. Whether you get thrown into jail, whether you run out of money, no matter what it is, you need to have men who are not cowards next to you because a lot of you are cowards, which means you hang around with cowards. And that means that your friends aren't even loyal to you because loyalty means nothing without bravery. Because as soon as things get hard, all of your friends are going to piss their little panties. It doesn't mean anything. You could be walking down the street with your best friend who calls himself loyal to you. And if me and Luke turn up to decide to kick the shit out of both of you, he will run away. He can't be loyal because he has no bravery. And why would you have brave friends if you're not brave yourself? I don't hang around with cowards. Cowards roll with cowards and brave men roll with brave men. And if you're not waking up thinking, I need a fraternity of men who are not afraid, with the war which is coming for us all, I don't want to be afraid anymore. I'm going to test myself. I'm going to be the best version of myself. And I need men who feel the same beside me. If you don't have that intrinsically inside of you, then you're a broken person and you're born to lose. Everybody always says, if you tried your best, that's all that matters. The best is all you can do. If you tried your best, it doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't matter if you lose if you tried your best. Most people have heard that before. But there is a secret to the universe that most don't know. If you actually try your best, you can't lose.
Not pretend to try your best, not try your best 90% of the time, not try your best with excuses. If you genuinely try your best all of the time, all day, every day, it's impossible to lose. So when people say, if you tried your best, it's okay to lose, that is a logic fail. Because if you lost, you didn't try your best in the first place. If you actually try your best, it is impossible to fail in this life. God is watching and he rewards those who want it the most. If you want it the most, you can have it. It's a competition. Every dollar you want, the house you want, the car you want, other people want, you have to win. You have to want it the most and genuinely do your best, because most people aren't capable of doing their best anymore. To get up every day, whether they feel like it or not, and perform regardless. That is the secret. You cannot fail if you try your best. So if you don't have the car you want, the woman you want, the relationship you want, the friends you want, the house you want, you haven't been trying your best. Because I guarantee you, the second you do, you'll have all of it.
I believe there's only 3 reasons people are not rich. One of 3 reasons. They're either stupid, arrogant, or lazy. Stupid is actually the smallest category. People think, oh, there's a lot of stupid people. There are, but I know a lot of stupid people with a lot of money, right? There's so much money in the world. To be too stupid to generate money, I think is less than 5% of the population. We're genuinely too dumb to ever make a good wage. Then you have arrogant and lazy, and these are the 2 most common. Lazy because people just, but I need time to myself. But it's the evening. Or, it's hyper competitive. There are people who do not need times to themselves. There's an Indian in Islam, or there's a guy in Islamabad who'll do your job online for $3 an hour and he doesn't sleep. You're going to lose, right? So if you're going to be lazy in any regard, you have to understand there are people like me who are billionaires who work 18 hours a day. When I finish this, I get into my car and I open my laptop and I work on my way to my next appointment. I'm going to work all night till the day when I go to sleep, I close my laptop and I'm asleep a minute later. I work. That's all I do. Lazy is a big problem because people go, but I just want to relax. If you just want to relax, that's fine. But you're competing against people who just don't want to relax. And you're going to lose. And the last, and I'd say that's around, a lot of people have that element to them. A lot of people are lazy. That's about 50% of people. But the main reason people are not rich is because they are arrogant. If you were to take somebody who says, I'm doing my best, I'm really trying, and you were to get an exact schedule of their last week and find all the times they've wasted time, you'd say, look, you've wasted time, wasted time, wasted time, wasted time. You know what's actually amazing? Most of those people are not even self-reflective enough to go, you're right, I'm not trying my best. You know what they'd say? Well, I have to rest sometimes. I have to have a social life. They'd be so arrogant because they're arrogant.
I had to do my Facebook.
Yeah. No matter, you'd even show them, here's where you fucked up. Well, I have to, you're crazy. And then they go back to being a loser. A lazy person thinks he's working too hard, and a successful person thinks he isn't working hard enough. And we're doing 20 times the work they are. And we're like, I could have done more, could have done this. I missed that today, can't miss that again. I should have taken that call. I should have flown there. I should have. We have guilt about it. They don't give a solitary fuck. And even if you pointed it out to them, they'd sit there and go, and they'd make some excuse for it. It's the brutal arrogance of people.
Perhaps 50, 60 years ago, you could be a normal man with a normal job, have a normal life and a normal wife and a normal house and a normal car and be happy. But the world we are now living in is proving that being a normal man is nothing more than slavery. Being a normal, law-abiding citizen with a normal income and a normal wage and one passport and a normal wife is going to leave you depressed. Sooner or later, it's just going to leave you and you're going to end up fucking suicidal and miserable.
This is what I don't understand about people, especially men in the world today. Why are they so worried about being afraid? Why are they so worried about, I was afraid every time I fought.
Yeah.
I fought anyway.
Yeah.
Like, I don't let fear guide what I'm going to do. I do what I'm supposed to do regardless of how I feel. So I don't see anything wrong with feeling fearful. I don't see anything wrong with feeling stressed or under pressure or anxious. All these things men are trying to get rid of. And I talk about men specifically. I gender this because I'm a man. I don't know how it feels to be a woman. But all these things that people are trying very hard to get rid of from their brains, I don't see why they need to leave.
Like,
I will argue the point that if I feel
and
anxious
join us
and
on
pressured
Patreon,
and stressed
warrior.
and fearful, I will get more done than if I was happy. I think if I was happy, I'd just be hedonistic and just wasting my time. I think that you get a whole bunch done with these negative connotations and negative emotions, and I think that life is suffering and pain, and you're here to go through it, and the sooner you get used to the taste, the more successful you're going to be. I have no interest in trying to change the flavor, my friend. The flavor of life is pain, and I will eat all of it. And it doesn't matter if they put me back in jail or not. I'm not sitting there going, how can I be happy in jail? I will sit in jail and say, yes, this sucks. It's supposed to suck. Yes, I'm not enjoying this. Yes, I'm anxious and paranoid. And yes, that guy might stab me. And yes, I can't sleep and I miss my family. And this is what's supposed to happen to me. And this is how I become the best man I can possibly be. And I'm going to succeed regardless.
So if you're not the person who's waking up every day going, how do I improve my existence? Then nobody is. Nobody on the planet is considering improving your one spin on Earth.
No one else cares.
Nobody else cares. So if you don't care, then you're fucked. So you need to wake up and care. And it's amazing to me, like you're saying, how did I find my mentors? I just tried a bunch of them. Like when I had no money, I would try very hard I'd listen to lots of different people, or I'd try different things. And I wasn't scared to invest in myself, because I understand that, look, if he's taking time out of his life, then I need to reward him for it financially. And I tried very hard, and I listened, and I paid attention, and I was never lazy. I don't believe there's a person on the planet who pays attention, tries their best, is never lazy, is on time, works hard, has a mentor, and is giving it his all, who isn't rich. I don't believe it. I think that if you do all those things, you're rich. And if you don't have any money, you're missing one of those key elements. Now, you can fool yourself and you can fool everyone else. You can pretend you're doing them. But if you're truly honest with yourself, am I finding people who are trying to teach me what I want to know? And am I trying my best? And the answer is fucking no every time.
For you to become rich and successful is going to require pain and suffering. And you have to understand exactly what your dream life is to make the pain and suffering worthwhile. Think about it. Have you ever been to the gym and seen a person in fantastic physical condition? They're strong, they're ripped, they're large. And you say to them, how did you get so big and strong? And they say, I don't know. Oops, it kind of just happened. Or have you ever found a really rich man or a very successful man and said, how did you become rich and successful? And he goes, I don't know, bro. I just woke up one day and it kind of happened, and now I'm living my dream life. No, there is a very detailed plan and roadmap. For you to become strong, you must eat a certain way. You must train a certain way. For you to become rich, you must earn money a certain way. You must understand exactly how you're going to make money, whether you're going to be a public-facing figure like me or a man of the shadows with millions of dollars. Unknown, but extremely powerful. You have to design your dream life. What house are you going to live in? Who's your woman going to be? Is she blonde? Is she brunette? What car are you going to drive? Have you even gone on the internet and spec'd your car? You can design your dream car right now for free on the internet, and you can choose the color. You can choose the wheels. You can choose the car. Is it a Lamborghini? Is it a Ferrari? Is it a McLaren? How much does it cost to the dollar? You talk about your dream life. You don't even know what your dream life is. How do you expect to get to a destination when you don't know where you're going?
The last thing I am is a hater. If you make a bunch of money and you pull up next to me in a Lambo, I'm going to be the guy who shakes your hand and says, gee, boom, you escaped the matrix. Congratulations. Welcome to the free world. That makes me happy. I want all of you to win. I'm not a hater. I'm not out here hoping I get to win and you lose. If you lose, you deserve to lose because you didn't take action. If you take action, you will win.
Join us now